it's Clancy, and today I'm going to be doing a video that I think most of you will find quite helpful. I don't care who you are. I'm sure at one point in your life you've been like, yo, I gotta really eat less, but you don't really know how. So I thought of 10 simple tricks that can really help you eat less, and I have been actually planning this video for like 3 weeks. I kind of wanted to just get like the 10 biggest tips that I think are the best. So whenever I thought of one, I would randomly go into the notes of my phone and type it up. And then finally today I realized I had 10 and I was like, 10 is like such a classic number. Like I'm a sucker for like even, Steven, great numbers. Like if it was 7, I would have been like, no. But 10, that's just 10. It's just 10's great. So yeah, let's just get started. The very first tip is to make your food count. And what I mean by that is that you can't pick foods that aren't going to fill you up, and you can't just pick foods that have no nutrients in them, no macros. Macros are protein, fat, and carbs. And an example of this is basically like 98% of the grocery store, not really 98%, but all of those snack aisles, any type of junk food, really, like Twinkies or cakes or Hostess, any of that, it's just not going to fill you up. It's like a waste of calories and you're just going to be hungry right after. What you want to look for in order to fill you up are 2 main things. First is fiber. Oh my gosh, this is huge. I swear, like, fiber just naturally makes you so full. Whenever I pick up a food, I like to be mindful. Does this have a lot of fiber in it? Will it actually fill me up? And when it does have a lot of fiber, it's kind of getting like a great bang for your buck kind of type thing. And another thing is protein. Protein also fills you up quite a bit. And those are 2 things that you want to look for to see if they're in your food, because you do want to get filled up. The next thing I know you've heard so many times, and you might be ignoring me right now, but hear me out. And it is to eat breakfast. And not just a breakfast, a big breakfast. And I know you're probably thinking, why would I want to waste my calories so early in the morning? That's annoying, no way. And here's the thing, when I say breakfast, I don't care what nutritionists say. Personally, my advice isn't stuff your face the second you wake up. That's not how I think of it. Personally, I don't eat breakfast until so late because I'm not hungry or I'm too busy, but I do make sure I get in 3 meals. I mean, honestly, it could be recommended that you do like 5 small meals, stuff like that, but I do make sure I get in the amount that I need. But the thing about breakfast and having a big breakfast is that you are not going to feel as full throughout your day. So by just having a flimsy old egg white omelet, which is what I used to have, personally I found that I was hungry like an hour later just because it didn't have the fiber that I needed. I recommend something like oatmeal or healthy cereal. Healthy, obviously it's nothing's gonna be healthy, but I don't mean like Cocoa Krispies or Lucky Charms. I mean, you can research and find, personally, I think the whole Cashy brand is amazing. Filled with fiber, packed with protein, at least the one I eat, and it makes me feel so full. So you really want a big hearty breakfast, and I know this sounds like a broken record and you're probably like, oh my god, shut up, but I'm just saying it really has helped me a lot and you might want to try it out if you don't already. Another big tip is to pre-portion your foods. Probably the biggest thing and the biggest problem I think Americans more than any other country has, also other countries maybe, but America is like huge, is that we eat and we eat and we eat and we eat so much, and we're used to these huge portions, and it's just not okay. Our bodies physically cannot handle that much food. You go out to eat at a restaurant and it is great when you get a whole plate full of food and it's, oh my gosh, this is amazing. But do you really need all of that? No, and you really shouldn't have all of that. The best thing to do is to pre-portion your foods. Know how much you can have and how much you're going to have. Don't just take a whole bag of something and start eating and get lost in how many you have. Literally, put it on the plate so that you know how much you need, so that you are controlling how much you're eating. And if, you know, when you're preparing your meal, you're so hungry that you're going to dump everything on, do it the night before when you have a nice full stomach. Pre-portion your foods, because it's when you're really hungry, you're going to want to dump it all on your food, but you have to remember that when we're so hungry, we think, like, I always say I could eat a baby giraffe. I don't know what that even means, but I'm just like, I could eat a baby giraffe right now. I'm so hungry. But honestly, after like 3 bites of my meal, I already feel like, whoa, I'm not even hungry anymore. So it's just, we think we need so much more than we do. Another huge tip is to use smaller plates. I know this sounds crazy, but this is actually something that I do and I find actually works. Basically, when you put your food on a huge plate, it seems like not that much, and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even eat that much, or I'm not even eating that much, I could use so much more. Then you even kind of trick yourself into thinking you're not even that hungry. When you use a small plate, it is stuffed to the brim. Like, I like to just stuff everything. Like, I have 2 salad bowls at my house. One is huge and one is medium. The medium one, my salad is like overflowing out of it. The huge one, my salad barely fills it up. So you'd think I'd want the huge one because why would I want things overflowing? But just mentally, I like having a stuffed bowl because it makes me feel like I'm eating so much. And it's just, personally, this tip is huge for me. Tip number 5 is to eliminate your weakness if you have one, and you probably do. Personally, I feel like we all have one food that we just can't eat normally. We don't have a normal relationship with it. And maybe this is just me, but you know what? Maybe it is just me. Personally, chocolate is something that I had to eliminate, and grapes, which is really weird. But honestly, chocolate, it's like I needed to have it every single day. And I would eat so much of it, and I just couldn't have a normal relationship with chocolate. Like, yeah, I mean, I probably could now if I wanted to, but it's just so much easier for me to just eliminate it completely. I haven't had chocolate since October of 2012, and you know what? I'm happier without it, and it was my favorite thing in the entire world. Then over the summer, I developed an addiction to grapes, and honestly, there's no eating just 5 grapes for me. I need to have like 50, which is crazy. And I know, I don't need to. I do have a lot of willpower, let me say, but it doesn't satisfy me to have 5. That's what I'll say. Like, when people say, oh my gosh, you go to such extreme lengths just eliminating food from your lifestyle, personally, for me, it's either all or nothing. And having a little bit just doesn't satisfy me, and that's just my personality. So if you can just eliminate that weakness, just get over it. It's not going to have a good place in your life. So whether that be chips, or if you have a certain dessert food that you know when you eat it, it's just you're eating way too much of it, or you eat it way too often, just eliminate it. It has no place in your life. Number 6 is to keep a food journal. And I was heard about this, and I was like, honestly, I'm not going to write down my food. How is that even going to help? But I think it really does help. In the beginning of this year, I kept a little food journal where I wrote down every single thing I ate, and it just made you so accountable to everything. If you were to just, quickly, like, let's say, like, take a handful of chips or something, you might not think about that, but then when you write it down, it's like, oh, that's what I don't want to write down. A handful of chips, like, wow. And you realize, whoa, that really does add up. That could be 100 calories right there, and it's like, whoa. When you actually start, like, adding things up and realizing, it's like, crap. Tip number 7 is to plan ahead. This is huge. For me, I just know what I'm going to eat every single day because I basically eat like the same 4 things. So I know exactly what I'll have every single day. If you don't plan, if you don't know, you can just start eating like a whole bunch of crap and you just don't know. Like, I can't imagine not knowing what I'll be eating every day. Today, I just knew exactly what I was going to have for breakfast, lunch, and I know what I'm having for dinner. I'm going out to eat. So just knowing, like, it's half the battle, I swear. Because then nothing will take you by surprise. No, oh man, like, this came up, and now I'm eating this, now I'm eating a whole crap load of that. Like, none of that. It's just planning ahead really, really does help. Number 8 is do not over-restrict. Okay? Like, don't be too, oh my gosh, I'm just gonna eat, lettuce for lunch and then this and then that. If that doesn't work for you, a lot of people, actually I know, like a lot of my friends come to me whenever they want, help eating healthy and stuff like that because they know I'm very into that, and they all come to me, I swear, every single one of them with, alright, tomorrow I'm just eating this, this, and this. I'm like, alright, that adds up to like 1,000 calories, and guess what? You're not going to do it. You can't be unrealistic with it. Even some of them do add up to like 1,500 calories, which is like which is a fine amount to eat. But I'm like, guess what? No. Add in something in there because you're not going to last. You can't go from 100 to 0. To go from eating all this crap to just, whoop, nothing. Like, oh, now I'm eating completely healthy. You will break. I'm telling you, you will. You'll binge, and then that's like taking 2 steps back, okay? So I definitely recommend not going from 0 to 100 real quick. Tip number 9 is to leave a little bit of something on your plate at the end of each meal. Personally, I don't follow this. I just don't. However, I read somewhere, I can't remember where, this was a few months ago, but if you were to leave like this much of what you're eating at the end of every meal, you can save about, I think it was like 50 calories a day, and then that adds up to like over 300 calories a week, which is huge, especially when you're trying to lose weight. And I know you might think this is like wasting food and how could you, but I don't know, personally, if it's that little amount, I don't really think so. For me though, when I say I eat every drop of what I put on my plate, I mean like I will like eat my salad and I will there won't even be a shred of lettuce left. I just eat everything, and I'm not trying to lose weight at the moment, so it doesn't matter, but if you are trying to lose weight, I definitely do recommend that, and it kind of gets you in the habit of not like having like devouring food. However, if this makes you feel too hungry after and stuff, this is kind of more for people who, especially if you go out to eat at restaurants, I feel. Not necessarily like if you have just like a little sandwich for lunch, you don't have to leave a huge bite left, but kind of I feel like maybe stick to it if you go out to eat at restaurants. That would be a good idea. And then lastly, number 10, this is probably the biggest one, is to be honest with yourself. A lot of the time when we go to reach for that bag of chips or, some chocolate or just junk food in general, we're not even hungry. We're simply bored or just not even like it's not even hunger. And it's just huge in our culture, in our society, just to mindlessly eat food. I mean, I swear, like, you go hang out at a friend's house, to a party, they set out a bowl of chips, and before you know, you've had 50, and were you even hungry to begin with? No. And I always do a specific test whenever I'm not sure if I'm hungry or not. That sounds weird, but sometimes I'm like, yo, I could really go for some carrots, I'm so hungry, and then I'm like, wait, are you hungry? And then I do the test. Could I eat a banana right now? Personally, okay, I will eat bananas, but I'm not like, I can't explain it. Like, they kind of disgust me unless I'm eating it. The thought of bananas and the smell of bananas disgusts me so much. So when you're really hungry, it doesn't matter what the food is. When I'm starving, I will eat a banana because I need food. So if I'm not in the mood for that banana, if I'm saying, no, I wouldn't eat that banana right now, then guess what? You're not hungry because this is just like trying to, a fixation with your mouth. So yeah, that's just a personal test that I do. You can do that with anything. If you don't like, you know, I don't know, burgers, or something, I don't know, you can do that test. So yeah, I really do hope these tips helped. I tried to think of the best ones and the ones that really can help. Let me know which one you thought was the most helpful in the comment down below, and also let me know if you'd like to see more health, fitness, getting in shape type videos. Leave any requests you have for those, what you want to see, and that's pretty much it. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. I thought of 10 simple tricks, but, and I hope this video helps. Helps. I know, personally, because, whoa, it's getting hot in here. And I always heard, whoa, hair, glance. Say goodbye to white picket fences. Say hello to palm trees and fences. Say you gotta fall to have it all. We don't want 2 kids and a